Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and you thought that my Matrix review was over with when I didn't mention the guns once. Oh no. Oh no. No, this had to be its own video. Mega rant time. This ain't even a review. Okay, I guess I'm reviewing like their choice of guns because Hollywood doesn't even know how guns work. Other than that, we going ranting, boys. So they showed up with just, I don't know, whatever guns matched their outfits. They were probably within every fight scene in the movie equipped with, and remember, the people from the Matrix showed up with these. Like, they theoretically beamed in with them or had them, you know, I actually wonder where they got the guns, to be honest. They can't just materialize items or they would have just, you know, dropped a cartoon safe on everybody's head. So I actually wonder about that. But in theory, they had like, you know, the B team and the C team and the Z team come in and like stow weapons around the city. How'd they even know where they were going to be? There's a question. But they must have like acquired them, you know, through whatever. So maybe somebody's in the Matrix just working some crappy like gas station night shift job, taking their whole paycheck, putting it into weapons, and then stowing them in like a safe house. Okay, they got the whole key in the door thing going on. And theoretically, they could enter the Matrix anywhere. So they could just steal the guns. So that's what I'm thinking is they just went somewhere and stole them. Well, if you're going to steal any gun, now we're back to why the hell did they just show up with whatever gun seems to match their outfit? There's no logic there. It's like, oh, automatic pistol. Cool. I've seen those. I'm not even sure that's a double stack wide mag. Even if it is, 17, 18 rounds max. Okay, I don't see no stendo mag going out the handle there, all right? And those things fire fast. It's not like Uzi fast, but it's fast. Some of those pistols are tri-burst, but those look like full auto to me. Either way, they were slamming that trigger. So she shows up with, I think it was 2 guns, one in each hand, which don't even get me started on how aiming like that doesn't work. But okay, they downloaded, I totally forgot the word, but like non-sight relative positioning hand aiming. You know, I don't remember what you call it. There's a term for it. Literally nobody but like stunt performers do it, and I don't know, kids who play Area 51 as a shooter at the arcade. That's more shot watching and adjusting, but like, you know, cowboys could, you know, sling a gun off their hip and fire and hit like a man-sized target at like 25 yards, you know, without aiming down the sights at all, just by feel, you know. It is doable, so okay, I could give them that. Maybe they learned that. And by learned, I mean they had it, you know, dumped into their brain, because that's how you learn stuff in the Matrix. So, okay, I could even believe that they were one in each hand, not looking down the sights, and they still, okay, whatever. Also, it was pretty close range, and they only pulled them out when they got to close range. So they were close, but ever heard of an MP9? Ever heard of an Uzi? Compact P90? I mean, you can't really fit that inside your coat very well, but, oh, my favorite gun of all time is an MP9. It runs like a rifle-shaped but generally like pistol caliber round that can go through most soft body armor just because of speed and pointiness. It's an insanely light bullet, probably lighter than a 9mm, but it's so pointy and moving so fast with so much powder, but also there's not much kick so you can run it out of a really small gun. So yeah, H&K, they make an MP9. It is amazing. And the MiGs are like not tiny. I mean, you're still going to run out of ammo pretty quick, but it's way ahead of a pistol, because that pistol is probably a good like 5-6 inches long, and the personal defense weapon, a short barrel, so SBR PDW is usually what they're called, one or the other or both. That would have been the choice for, oh crap, somebody's up close, or just literally any shotgun, which it's hard to travel with a shotgun and they're kind of heavy. Okay, can't really hide it in your coat as well. Okay, or put it on a belt, but. And okay, I went through and real quick, just kind of rough counted how many people had like a super short barrel, you know, PDW style, probably full auto type of gun. Ooh, man, okay. More than I thought, but almost every time someone has one, where the hell did they get that between, you know, walking from this place to that? They walked like out of a building with no gun, and then they like walk out to the sidewalk, and now they've got like 2 MP9 sized weapons. Like, where did you get those? They literally could not have been on your coat. I just saw you a second ago. So besides guns magically beaming into their hands, there's a couple times where I'm like, well, so you're going super up close, short. Now you've got a rifle, which it might have been a battlefield pickup from someone else. Okay. But then they got other times where they're like shooting super long range, and they got pistols and short barrel full autos. Like, why? A lot of it's kind of chaos of battle, okay, whatever. But first of all, where did you get that weapon? We're going to go back to that. And then 2, why do you have that weapon? Why didn't you bring a more appropriate weapon for the scenario? Okay, they're fairly different body sizes, but you can take out experience and training because experience and training is irrelevant. They just beam the information in your head and you can practice all you want with whatever you want. So if somebody's more comfortable with their body size and frame with a different size rifle, okay, but I'm looking at like what some of them are carrying and it just makes no sense. I think they were just like, give me 12 cool guns. Okay, let's put them in somewhere for some reason. What would have made a lot more sense is if virtually everyone had the same model. Just find the best gun with the best caliber, with the best recoil, and just everybody use that. Like, why would you use something worse? Some of those models in there, I'm not good at identifying them, but just generally, they didn't look that impressive. One of them, I'm like, well, put a longer barrel on it. Another one, I'm like, he can handle bigger recoil than that gun. Then another one I'm looking at, and I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to fire it one-handed, then use something with a smaller caliber with lighter recoil. What the crap? And then on top of it, a lot of them looked bone stock. I could be completely wrong. I'm not like I'm a general like firearms expert, but I'm not like a gun model expert. Far, far, far from it. There's a difference. There's a distinction. I know guns and ammo and how they work, but you show me a gun, I got a 50-50 chance if it's common of even being able to identify it from its outline or from holding it. But these looked bone stock. I mean, we're talking no skeletonized, lightweight, carbon fiber. I mean, custom paint jobs that would have just looked like a paintball match. But also, have you seen what they're wearing? I'm surprised the guns weren't gold-plated. Maybe there was one and I missed it. Hi, editing desk from the future. Yes, there was one. It wasn't a full job, but it was gold-plated. By the way, there is no such thing as a gold-plated gun. They use titanium phosphate. It might have been some kind of like anodized titanium because it was like the barrel and the action, which makes no sense. But honestly, I actually don't even know what gun that was. But something was gold-plated, okay? Like double quote gold-plated. My God. It could have been for material reasons, though. I'll give them that. Now, okay, the SWAT, when they showed up, which, you know, they're the Matrix, I don't know, new enforcers or, I don't know, agents or whatever. Oh, look, they're all running like the same MP5 or whatever it was. But they had like really nice optics on them as far as I could tell. So they at least went there. But, you know, that's what the SWAT team would be expected to use. They're all wearing about the same armor and about the same gun. You know, they could share MIGs. It's like, okay, that I get. But there is no reason that the Matrix crew, whenever they're in, if they would have shown up with like competition grade, chrome plated interior, hexagonal twist barrels. It's like rifling, but better. Or maybe it's an octagon shaped twist. I don't know. It's a really expensive barrels. And then they chrome plate the interior for even lower friction coefficient and wear. It looked like they were showing up with bone stock guns that they got at the Fleet Farm. Okay, like, I don't know, man. Now, in one point, one of the agents shows up with a pistol with a silencer. That's what was like in the drawer pre-placed there ahead of time, which kind of makes sense. You don't want to alert everybody within, you know, an urban environment within 3 miles that a gunshot happened if it's, you know, kind of modern day-ish, because like if it was Chicago, they have gunshot sensors and like the real cops might show up, but then again, like all the cops are supposed to be agents, or did they just take over? I don't know. Like, yeah, it makes sense that they had a suppressor. But that reminded me, none of them appear to be wearing ear protection when they're all just right next to each other firing off like rifle calibers, okay? I accidentally forget to put in one ear one time for a YouTube video. If you guys saw that, shout out. It was kind of hilarious. A card got banned, so we put it on my archery target and shot it in the middle of my shop. And I accidentally left my left ear pro off, which is why I shot once. I meant to mag dump on it. And I just like stopped because it was so loud that I like saw the color white for a second. Like one other time I've heard something so loud and so abrupt that it affected my optic nerve like through my ear. You guys who have been through that know it's like getting flashbanged, but like junior edition. I accidentally set off my house's alarm right in my face, directly like a foot from my ear. It's kind of loud. It actually was so loud, it like overloaded my nervous system for a second, and I actually like my knees started to buckle just because of the loudness. It was like nervous system overload until I could like just get my crap together and back away from it. Gunshots are louder, especially point blank, especially rifle calibers, especially short barrel rifles. Especially with certain types of muzzle devices, we'll say. I'm not going to go into which because who cares, but they had the type of stuff that would be really rude to bring to the range and then rapid fire, which is also usually not allowed, right next to the bench next to you because you will like blow their toupee into the next county. And they're just, oh, fire it away. We're fine. Bring Ear Pro. You brought everything else. Also, if they're going to wear these stupid leather trench coats and other dumb shit that gets in the way, because I guess the skin tight BDSM shit, they were out of that. That store was closed. So they had to go to the Hot Topic instead. So it wasn't skin tight, but there's shit flapping around everywhere, getting in the way of your gun, getting jammed in the ejector port. And you could say, oh, they got this martial arts awareness of where it is, and it's actually meant for cover, and they're wearing it on purpose because it's supposed to be flowing and hide their actions, and they're wearing baggy stuff kind of to hide guns. Okay, it's not outrageous, but it's also not what I would bring to a gunfight. I would bring body armor. Where's that? Are they just that confident they won't get shot? My guess is yes, and that like type 3 body armor or type 3A plus a plate, so like 4 plus, would be so bulky that it would be more likely to get them shot, and rifle rounds tend to pass right through like type 3A. Here's a question though, isn't it approximately the year 26 something? Well, I know that like even they don't know. They say that in one of the movies, they don't know what year it is, but they got like maglev stuff, they got EMPs. Why wouldn't they be able to send someone into the Matrix, which is supposed to be like, you know, what, early 21st century, and just build it there? You know, because like it's probably not like they're using antimatter. I think that's they'd be traveling in from another planet, which, yes, I know one of the allegedly canon side projects for the Matrix actually had aliens come land, but that was the aliens with the tech, okay? So if you're gonna float with all this maglev crap, I assume it's just really, really good superconductors, electricity, and I think that superconductors were mentioned. So bare minimum, they should be able to bring a directed energy weapon, a plasma weapon, some kind of arcing weapon. Well, in fact, they have those to zap the Sentinels. They literally have them. So you could send someone who knows how to build one of those, which is like everyone, because they're all like survivalist engineers, like we're going to do it ourselves, fix it ourselves, build it ourselves types, send them into the Matrix and build it. I don't think that's outrageous. I don't think you'd need like exotic materials, and even then you could, you know, do it, just have a whole operation going. Bare minimum, since we have the tech right now in 2022, almost said one, couldn't they just build a really powerful compact railgun with like a really good, some kind of super capacitor, whatever energy handling ultra high density stuff they got in these ships and in their current tech, build it in the Matrix and then bring that in? Why are they using old ass 1980s model military surplus guns when that's what the agents and the SWAT teams are using? You could bring in your future crap and just build it in the Matrix. I guess nobody mentioned that to them. That would have been the craziest twist for the fourth Matrix movie ever, is if they were like, hey, guess what we were doing for the last couple decades? Building our own tech in the Matrix. I mean, at least like a mass arcing stun taser glorified capacitor, you know, grenade thing that they could toss in and just stun everyone in the whole crowd. Come on. And the type of like ballistic armor that's on their ships, I'm not saying they could get away with building an entire floating ship in the Matrix without being seen, but like, maybe. Speaking of that, I mean, probably a century since the last like big reset and takeover and whatever, you know, spoiler from the third movie from 20 years ago. They've got all this metallurgical, you know, technology, metalworking, material science, that kind of stuff. They probably could build better body armor. Now, could they get a whole facility and factory up and running in the Matrix just to build something that difficult with the limited technology of, you know, whenever the Matrix takes place, which is kind of in the past? It seems to be perpetually stuck in the like early 2000s, which if that's how they want to manage it and just always keep suppressing technology, I guess, I don't know. By the way, I was rewatching to get a couple like real quick looks at who was using what gun and what scene, and near the end, when Neo goes to block a bunch of bullets, I'm watching it in like 1/4 speed. They got off about 10 rounds before he gets his hands up. Dude, he got shot like 12 times. Like, bro, how did they get the timing that far off? Also, how are they not aiming directly at him from like 6 feet away? Come on. These are SWAT. Not only that, they're allegedly agents as well. So they're like even better at aiming guns. Everybody in this movie shoots like a stormtrooper except for the Matrix folks, the Hot Topic crew. But the guy with the white hair showed up with a badass rifle with a badass optic on it, so I can appreciate that. Then he uses it from about 4 feet away. So, all right. Also, he fires it like that one New York Times reporter or whatever that was like, it scarred me for life, it gave me PTSD, it's so loud. And then, of course, everybody on YouTube cut to like a 9-year-old girl being like, this is fun, and then firing an AR-15. He's like leaning back. I don't know if it's because, okay, there's like an agent right up in his face doing a backflip, but like, He's not even, well, shouldering it correctly, but okay, it's short range, but like, he just looks like he's like scared of the recoil. Like, are you guys supposed to be badasses, or like, is this your first time using a gun? So near the end, when they all step out of the building, here's a fun one for you. 12 people in frame out there on their team, 0 guns in hand. They all left their guns inside. Now remember, they just took down like 30 SWAT dudes, all with the same weapons. I don't know, MP5s, AR-15s, wherever they were, I didn't look. Didn't bring any of them with them. They knew there was trouble outside. None of them did a battlefield pickup on their rifles, or like check some mags, or like, let's get rearmed before we go out. And plus, how did all of them run out of ammo? They brought quite a bit of ammo. Maybe it's because a couple of them brought, a pistol that runs out in 1.8 seconds. Oh, and it's nighttime, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 of them, if I recall, that are wearing sunglasses have the studio lights and the cameras reflecting in them. Also, they're wearing sunglasses to help them in a gun battle at night in the Matrix, in the dark. And because of it, they're reflecting the cameras in them. That's amazing. Oh, and then like cut to the wide shot like 3 seconds later. Now all of a sudden they have guns again. Guess they pulled them out of their asses. Like literally all of them, reholstered in full concealed pistols. And then like they all had pistols again. And then when they get into the van, they all have like SMGs and rifles. It makes sense that they'd be packed in there. Okay. But they're not what I would call friendly vehicle guns. They're still a little long. I would have picked, like if I could pick any model of gun that exists, I would have picked 10 different ones than what they had. So if they had all the time in the world to stock the van, just saying, it doesn't make sense. Getting a closer look at these pistols, they're pretty tricked out. They got nice red dots. These are, maybe they are kind of just subtle down low, non-showy, but kind of competition shooter pistols. I don't know. I'm going to have to rewatch the first battle scene because that's the one where I was like, what's going on? Oh, then Blondie steps out of the car and now he has an ultra compact PDW. Come on. With a huge mag on it. That's like a 33 round Glock compatible or like a 50 or something. I don't even know. But he didn't have that or use that in the vehicle. They used like mid-barrel rifles. Come on. And now he's shooting at a range one-handed while helping an injured person hobble along. Do these people know anything about guns? They almost should have just lost. They should have the bad guys win the movie. Oh, then someone else is using the dually pistols at like 50 yards against like 100 targets. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, unusual gun choices in the first couple battle scenes. I was right there. I mean, right around the 34-minute mark, let me just ask, whose ass did he pull those 2 PDWs out of? Where did he get them? Because the SWAT dudes didn't have them. He didn't have them, and he's wearing some skin-tight thing. Okay, you can't hide those anywhere. Where did he get them? Were they stowed there ahead of time? Could have been, and they were in the bathroom. That's right, hide them and put them in the toilet tanks in a Ziploc, standard Jason Bourne crap, But it's like every scene, they're not like, what would be the best use for this, range and this many targets, within the reason of them being able to guess. They were just like, I don't know, what gun would look cool? Where'd he get him? I don't know. How'd he carry him? I don't know. Wouldn't he need more ammo than that? I don't know. Isn't that a terrible gun choice in general? I don't know. In parentheses, yes. By the way, only in the Matrix with the police, which is really just, I assume, the agents. But I'm not sure, because there were agents and there were very clearly just SWAT members who couldn't move fast enough to like dodge bullets. So I think, I don't know. Sub-agents, none of it makes a damn ounce of sense. But only in the Matrix would they have the budget for, I believe those are referred to as integrally suppressed rifles. Plus their SBRs. I'm pretty sure you still got to pay the tax stamps on those, and those 2 things cost more than the damn rifle, okay? I don't think SWAT has those. Maybe it's some kind of federal thing. I don't know, but, they're also, it's the Matrix is rigged. They don't have to comply with gun laws. I get it. Yeah, wouldn't that be a fantasy? Oh, so the middle of the movie scene where they all roll up with the guns, that's the one where I remember having the biggest problem here because they're apparently all the training that got downloaded in their heads or that they practiced manually in the Matrix or both didn't include basic gun safety, like keep your finger off the trigger and don't point a gun at the person directly 2 feet in front of you while you wave it around like a moron, pretending to sweep and clear the room. And then in one of the biggest warehouses, they all brought PDWs, personal defense weapons, short barrel rifles, teeny tiny little semi-concealable, pull it out of your trench coat, glorified spray and pray weapons. It looks like some of them got optics, but then, just bring an 18-inch barrel. What the hell are you doing? You're just losing velocity and increasing the sonic boom while you're not wearing any ear protection. And I'd say they're not wearing eye protection, but they got these absolutely fruity looking sunglasses on. Oh, look, they've both got their weapons up. That's actually a lot more tricked out than I thought. Holy crap. That's like one of those titanium phosphate plated barrels and like the rear part. I'm not a expert on weapons that I can't buy because they take a $900 tax stamp or whatever. But yeah, okay, that's a bit tricked out. I'll give them that. And I mean, okay, a male stripper wouldn't wear those gloves. They're fingerless, but they're also gloveless. They're just around like the bottom of his fingers. But yeah, a male stripper would be like, that's a little much, let alone somebody who's about to fire a gun. A 14th century bowman would be like, nah. And, oh, somebody just appeared. Let's get our guns up. But let's not look down the sight or anything. You know, that would just be silly. Just like bringing 2 pistols to guarantee you can't aim. He's got this badass optic and he doesn't even have a cheek weld on the damn thing. What is wrong with you? And like, maybe I'm dreaming here, but I swear that optic on top changed in between shots. Oh, look at that. Even the agents don't look down the sight while they're aiming, which they might not have to. I don't think their eyes are even eyes, and they're just kind of AI entities. That makes sense. Matrix crew, no, that doesn't make any sense. And so, like, I don't know, 20 seconds into the gunfight, everybody goes hands-on because movie and because action and because they didn't bring enough damn ammo. They didn't bring enough spare mags. It's not just so they close the distance. They prove that they can get separation. You know, do a backflip up 1 story, you know, through the air. Like, yeah. Control the distance, basic self-defense, come on. So they clearly did not bring enough ammo, but then again, I guess, like, they were kind of dodging the bullets, so... I don't know if guns don't work going hands-on wood, but then it kind of did, which makes no sense, because if you can dodge a bullet, you can dodge a fist, and if you can dodge a ball, you can dodge a wrench, or the other way around. Send that theory to Matt Pat. The Matrix 4 is actually a sequel to Dodgeball. Boom. Drop that one on you. Oh, did they bring any knives, swords, batons, tasers, pepper spray? No. Just like 50 rounds between all of them, expended it all, and then, oh crap. So yeah, the whole movie was pretty cringe. The guns were weird. I kind of take back them about being bone stock. I guess it was blurry and dark and I was looking at the wrong people. Now reviewing it in slow motion, that's a different story. Still, it would help to look down the sights or have, you know, your finger off the trigger when you're walking right behind somebody and not aiming at them. That would be nice. So it's like the weirdest mix of wins and fails. And it's like every single time it's like, well, where'd you get 2 of those from between that hallway and that continuous almost shot? Like, where are you hiding these? Where are you getting these? You didn't steal them off anybody else. They all have the same weapons. They just sewed together a bunch of what would look cool here, what would look cool here. And that's just ridiculous. And I mean, just the whole thing of like, I'm going to run out of ammo in 3 seconds. Okay, well, 1, wrong gun choice. And 2, bring some backup mags. And 3, clearly you didn't learn anything from Neo showing up to that, you know, the metal detector scene where he whips open his coat and he's like, holy shit. Yeah, if you got the room in your coat, bring, 16 weapons and 16 mags for each of them, like whatever. Your coat's going to weigh 100 pounds. Get over it. And bring polymer mags. Use light calibers. There you go. I mean, they actually pretty much did. I mean, that dude, I think he had like guns on his ankles and stuff and ankle holsters. He's got like secondary mag holsters up his ass. I mean, come on. It was like one dude. Guess he knew there might be danger in multiple targets, so he showed up with an appropriate amount of weapons. And this one, they're like, 2 pistols should be fine. I don't need any extra mags at all. And then on top of it, didn't bring any, like I said, batons or anything. Come on. What is wrong with you people? How do you survive as a society? You had like 50 years in between movies to get your shit together. You should have upped the ante, learned from what the original crews did. Some of them are still alive to tell you what worked and what didn't. They'd be like, oh, well, this one time Neo showed up with 8 guns and, 6 mags for each of them. Maybe they should do that. Oh, yeah, maybe we should do that. No, let's go and do a giant unknown fight with an unknown number where we could get swarmed at any time with 2 full auto pistols and 2 mags. That should be fine, guys, right? And then miss every shot. I think anti-gun liberals took over the human cities. And then they just kind of bullshitted it at the last second. Like, oh, should we bring guns? Yeah, we don't know how to use them. Just show up anyway. It'll be an intimidation thing. Guns are scary. That's why the robots took over, is because they have better guns. So we need to ban guns. So anyway, this has been your gun rant about the Matrix Resurrections. I want to see like another channel like Brandon Herrera or someone like break down all the gun massive screw-ups. I will say in whatever Matrix movie, I want to say 2. maybe 3, but I think it was 2, where they had actually, no, I think it was probably 1, where they had the helicopter scene, the slow motion helicopter, freeing Morpheus scene. When they showed like the shot where well, I was going to say casings, but that's kind of the point, where the spent ammunition is falling out of the helicopter from the minigun onto the camera. They must have actually shot that, which, that's kind of cool, because you can see that they're crimp blanks. Like, the casings are falling out of the minigun at an alarmingly slow rate, by the way, for a minigun. And they've got, like, the fake bullet tip extending out the front, probably as one piece, just for safety, otherwise you could shrapnel going down the barrel. And they're just like blown out crimp rounds where they're crimped together, and then they just kind of blow out a big powder explosion and then eject the whole thing. First of all, how did you modify the ejection port? But they really did it. Like, that was really firing. Now, where the hell you get a minigun that slow? I don't know. So maybe they were faking it, but they were dropping blanks onto the camera, and nobody said, hey, maybe we should do this digitally, or maybe we should edit out each individual, blank bullet front that's still attached to the casing. No. So do you think they solved it for this movie? I'm actually going to go look up the scene right now and find out, because I think they did, but it was really fast. No, they fixed it in this movie. That was one of the things they cut so much shit for in that first movie, and they fixed it in this one. It's probably digital too, which is kind of funny, but yeah, it would appear that those are just casings. That is hilarious. Well, they got one thing right. I'm giving them still an F-. Hell, I'll give it an F+, which, believe it or not, on the American grading scale doesn't exist for some reason. In fact, after D- it's just F. Hell, I'll give him a D- because that one PDW is actually kind of cool. But I want to see like a gun expert YouTuber break down like, oh, that's not even the right make for that gun. That gun isn't even made anymore. That gun's an unreliable piece of shit. Like, I couldn't name a single model, honestly. Which means that they might have been fancier than I thought, but they're not as bone stock as I thought. So I'll take that back, like I said. But yeah, that's been your gun review for The Matrix. It was a complete shit show, just like the movie. And I'll see you guys next time.